Awesome. So, one thing we're going to talk about right now is kind of how to practice. So, I know you say you don't hit a lot on the range. I know you love to play. So, how do you practice? When you go to the range, you go into the shop, you get your balls, and you bring them out. Kind of what's next after you put your balls down?
Yeah, typically I'll start with like usually a 54 cent ledge and just take some easy swings, and then just honestly no direction though, just starting short and then getting the more full swings there, and then just going through the bag. I mean or pitch through. Sometimes I'll even hit the four because I run out of balls or I just don't want to see that. But I always try to get some three wood and driver swings in there as well. But it's really just one of those things where you mentioned earlier that I was just rapid fire and I'm not thinking about them. So I think that I just hit, and I'll sometimes get frustrated because I don't know how to fix whatever's going on. So I'll just go ahead and swing the next swing, being like, all right, that one was bad. I'm just gonna swing another one really quick, rather than just taking my time and thinking about what I did wrong.
Yeah. So a couple things. We spend a lot of time with each other playing golf and practicing. One of the things so I have kind of three big components for you that is going to make you a way better golfer if you do them. So number one, what I want you to do is pick a target. I feel like I've had times where I've been like, what's your target as we're pitching? You're like, oh, I don't really have one. So I want you to pick out either a target on the range or a tree or something like that, and kind of hit what you wanted to hit a cut. So hit your cut into that tree. So instead of just like hitting a cut and then it fades and then you're like, oh, good shot. Like have a starting line and where you want it to end up on. That's going to make you way better golf.
Yeah.
Number two is dissecting each shot. So I know what we just talked about, where you're like, you hit one bad and then you're like, okay, let me just get another one. I want you to think about what you did bad. So I want you to think about, okay, what did I do right there? Oh, I yanked the club up, or I came way too shallow and flipped at it. So I want you to think about what you're doing after every shot. And think about the good shots too. That's going to be a main component. Yeah. You hit 10 8-irons amazing in a row. And I was like, what are you doing differently? And you're like, I'm just kind of slowing down, and I feel like I'm in control of my golf swing. So the big thing is knowing what you did bad, but a huge thing is knowing what you did good. And the last thing is just slowing down. Yeah. So everything is super fast and all this. When you're on the range, I want you to do all those things, but I want you to do a pre-shot routine. So I want you to hit a shot, step back, you can wipe your club off and think about what you did, and then set up for your next shot. So then aim at that tree, at that target, and just say, what do I want to do now? So instead of just raking balls over and just yanking on them, feel like you have your kind of pre-shot routine and think about what you need to do in this shot. And each new shot is a different ball to get better. Because one swing can make all the difference, and then you're like, oh my gosh, I have this feel now.
Right.
You kind of understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly what you're saying.
Okay.